I did do my makeup pink today, like angel dust, but for some reason, the lighting or this camera just doesn't like to pick up the details of the makeup looks I take so long to do. So, as you can guess by A, the title, but B, my first comment here, today I'm doing this video as a tribute to one of my favorite characters of all time, Angel Dust from Hazbin Hotel. And if you've been here for a while, or if you're new, I have been doing a lot of different fashion videos that are inspired by Angel Dust. And if you have seen, first of all, I'm Velvet, and I'm here to take you on my journey to making my dreams come true, to show you that there is a beautiful life beyond abuse, and to guide you in your journey to making your dreams come true, and to bring in your bright, beautiful life after abuse if you have dealt with that too. Now let's get into it. So, during my healing, during having to realize the truth and how severe the abuse that I went through was, I needed a pillar of strength. I ended up finding that in Angel Dust because I had my own Valentino, and I'm here to say, me too. If you have never heard of the Me Too movement, you can look that up. But the things that Angel Dust went through, it took me from a place of minimizing the things that were going on a daily basis and telling myself that it wasn't that bad, to realizing it was that bad. This is definitely going to be a little bit more of a serious video. The next video I'm going to do is much more light than this one. I'm not going to get into any details, no graphic details, no details of any kind. But watching specifically episode 4 of Hazbin Hotel, if you know, you know. If you've seen the show, you know that that's the episode where we see how bad Angel's abuse is. We see what goes on behind closed doors. I have a very, very interesting story about Hazbin Hotel and how I came to watch it. So, while I was with my ex, he really wanted to show me a bunch of different shows that he liked. No, I never got a turn. It was always about him. But that's kind of a topic for the next video, which is making sure to always do what you love too. Having it be equal, but that's for next time. So he always wanted to show me these very specific shows. One of the shows he wanted to show me was Hell of a Boss. Another was Hazbin Hotel. I started watching Hazbin Hotel with him a week before I got out of that relationship. And because of that strong association that I had to him with those shows, I wanted nothing to do with them. They were giant triggers. When Hazbin Hotel blew up and it was the biggest thing out there, I was being triggered left and right. Everywhere I looked, I would put on the TV, and I have Amazon Prime Video. I would put that on. There's a giant banner for Hazbin Hotel. I would open my laptop. The news that Google would send me, like the news feeds that Google would send me, Hazbin Hotel. It was everywhere. All of my friends were talking about it. Everywhere I went, people were talking about it. It was like a constant trigger that I couldn't avoid. So eventually, what completely shifted me around was my very best friend since of 20 years now. We have our 20-year best friendship anniversary this year. And I call her my sister. So she, I found out, loves that show. And to me, that immediately made me go, oh my gosh, wait, you do? And I have high respect for her opinions. So I asked her about it, and I asked her to tell me about it. And the more she told me about it, the more interested I became, and the more I wanted to reclaim something that my ex essentially ruined for me. So over time, I started getting more curious about it. I started looking more things up about it. I eventually came across a video that was a therapist analyzing angel dust and his abuse. And that was the title, is Angel's Abuse. And I was very intrigued because of obvious reasons, but I watched through that video and I immediately felt, I have to watch this show. This is what I went through. I have to watch this show. So I became obsessed with Angel before I even started watching the show. And once I got to episode 4, where we see all of the sexual abuse that he goes through, including the big R, it was like watching what I went through behind the scenes. And yes, it was that bad. What you see in that episode, yes, it was that bad. And this was an almost daily occurrence for 6 months. When I saw that episode, it was shortly after I had realized certain things that I had not realized before about what I went through. And I had been trying to minimize everything. And I was blaming myself, and making every excuse in the book because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't process the truth. But when I saw that episode, it terrified me in the best ways. And it opened my eyes, and I felt more seen and heard and cared about and understood than I had the entire journey. And then I would see online, I would watch all of these different shorts or edits or things that were made on YouTube for Angel and for the things that he went through. And I would see all these comments that were saying, free Angel, and they were rooting for him to have this bright future. And all of the what is it, Husker dust, tough to say, Husker dust fan stories and art, to me, that was this beacon of hope, of it is possible to have this beautiful life beyond abuse. And look at this. Angel went from episode 4 to, first of all, in the series, light spoilers, or not so light spoilers. We're talking about a show here. Spoilers. We see him, how strong he is, how brave he is, how he cares so much about his friends. He is a beacon of strength. And yes, he has some maladaptive coping skills. So does everyone. And with what he's going through, who can blame him? No, I am not into drugs. I don't even smoke. I don't even drink. I'm not into that. But what I'm saying is, he was my beacon of hope. And he was my image of all of the strength that I know I have inside of me. And he brought that out in me. And he made me feel validated in the experiences that I went through. And he made me feel strong and good about myself, and like it wasn't my fault. I didn't ask for what happened to me. And believe me, I tried to say no all the time. Whether it be indirectly or directly, I tried to say no. And it didn't matter. Ever. So, I am a huge advocate for saying no. It is a very powerful phrase, and sometimes there were times where when I said it directly and firmly, it saved me from different things. But it didn't always work. And like I said, yes, I went through the big R multiple times. And I was told that it was for intimacy purposes. No, it was not. Especially one instance where it was done in anger to me. After an object was thrown at my face. So, to me, Angel means a lot to me. And today I decided to show up to tell you that part of my story, wearing what I was wearing the day that that happened to me. This sweater and these pants. To tell you it could happen to anyone. And that it doesn't matter what you're wearing. And it doesn't matter how you present yourself or how you act. It could happen to anyone. And more times than not, it happens with the person that you're in a relationship with. Abuse is subtle. It starts with tiny things that so easily go undetected, that are so easily questioned, and it just builds over time until it becomes normal. And you don't question it anymore. Or if you do, you blame yourself. And you tell yourself that you're crazy. or a bad person for not trusting your partner. So if you've gone through something, no matter what you've gone through, you need to find your beacon of strength. And if you can find that in a character, that's probably the best thing that you can do. Angel brought me out of probably the darkest place I've ever been in my life. And made me realize that what happened to me was not my fault. And that, yes, it was that bad. He helped me to realize how strong I am for leaving, and for staying gone, and for accepting the truth, and for accepting reality for what it is. He helped me to break the trauma bond, which, if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. Trauma bond, mental illness, or trauma bond, Ben Taylor. Either one of them can explain it extremely well. But Angel helped me to break that trauma bond. It took me 8 months to fully break it. But that's why I'm here now, because it's broken. Thank God. And so to me, Angel means everything to me. Hazbin Hotel means everything to me. Find your beacon of strength. That is such a critical point in healing. One of the biggest things is that your abuse does not define you. And that is something that shines in Angel. His abuse does not define him. Something, too, that he goes through, that I went through for a while, that is not talked about often, and that is the only reason that I'm talking about it, because it is something very difficult to talk about. But when that happens to you and you're trying to find a way to process it or a way to understand it, you go through, or at least for me, you go through, and a lot of people actually, you go through cycles of completely wanting to hide yourself away and hide your body, and hypersexualizing yourself. And although I tried very hard to hide both of these responses, both of these trauma responses, I knew what I was doing. I knew I was presenting myself in these ways. I wasn't acting provocative. I wasn't acting different. But to me, I knew what I was doing with how I was presenting myself, and it felt horrible and so confusing, because when things like that happen to you, it is beyond traumatizing, and it affects you in so many different ways. And it made me look at myself in a terrible light for a while. It made me question my own worth And it made me question why that happened to me. And like I said, I blamed myself in many different ways, and I at points was under the belief that I am just fundamentally, there's something fundamentally wrong with me. That is never the truth. The truth is that there are sick, twisted, evil people in this world who find power and control in doing horrible things to other people because they themselves feel powerless. They feel that they need to do evil things to make themselves feel better. That's what narcissism is all about. And it's very hard when you come out of something like that and there are people in your life that you thought were your friends that you realize were not your friends. And they're minimizing what happened to you. And they're pushing it off as, oh, he's just immature. Oh, he's just selfish. Oh, he's just this. Oh, he's just that. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. I'm sure that wasn't his intention, you know. You very quickly realize who stays in your life and who needs to leave. But the most important thing that you can do is always know you didn't ask for that. You didn't want that. You didn't warrant it. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter your size, your ethnicity, your gender. It doesn't matter. It can happen to anyone. And you need to find your beacon of strength afterwards. You need to find a source that understands you, that you can cope with, that you can find hope in, that you can feel seen and heard in. You do not have to suffer in silence. I waited a long time to talk about any of this. And respectfully, I will ask, if you do know me, especially if you are related to me, I don't want messages about this. I don't want to talk about it. I have told the people that I wanted to tell. I've already talked about it. I don't need to anymore. So this video has gone on long enough. Just know that there is a beautiful life after abuse. Find your people who care, who understand, who love you. That's not always family. Find your people. Find your support system. Find your comfort character. And keep going. And know that you are heard. You are seen. You are cared about. And it was not your fault. I waited a long time to talk about this because I wanted to wait until I was fully healed. And I did not ever think that I would get online and tell this part of my story. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you find your strength because it is within you. Find it and light that fire in yourself. Be that phoenix that rises from the ashes. Be that final girl or guy. You can do this. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. The things that I'm doing today to continue going after my dreams are, first of all, I have an interview for a job that if I get it, I will be able to support myself and get a house. Second, I'll be contacting people that I need to meet up for next steps. And if I have any extra time, I will do some writing today. A lot of just planning and thinking, but every little step. I'll see you next time. Stay strong.